Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Red Devils podcast. And we've got loads to talk about today. This is the Manchester United versus Everton preview in the Premier League. Let's get straight into it, man. Ole, the press conference, he came in today. He said a couple of things that I think I would like to go over. I'm sure you lot will have your opinions on this as well. One thing that stood out to me in the Ole press conference was when he was asked a question about his transfer plans in January. And to paraphrase Oli, and I want to get you guys' thoughts on this, but to paraphrase Oli, he basically said that he said, we're not looking to sign in January unless there's a short-term option available. You know, we're looking long-term. So, you know, short-term's not really his focus. And that's very concerning to me as a United fan, because basically what that means is, you know, unless there's a deal that's very obvious, United's not going to take it. And what does he mean by short term? That's another thing. What does he mean by short term? Could that be Mandzukic? Because I don't want a player like Mandzukic. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I mean, I think we know about this board and Edward, how long they take on signings. So I'm not expecting much, and I'm not going to get my hopes up as a fan about signings in January. And short term, Mandzukic came to my head, and if we get Mandzukic, are we done, fam? We done.
Yeah.
Are we done?
The Croatian Peter Crouch.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like if Ole is not screaming at Woodward to make signings, he's not serious about his future at this club. Because, like, it's just not going to happen. That midfield, yes, that's starting to turn up, but it's not enough throughout the whole season. I mean, we want to win the Europa League, we want to finish in top 4, and it's just not going to do it. We will get more injuries. So, yeah. And, like, I don't get this thing of ignoring the January transfer window. I mean, Liverpool signed Van Dijk in January.
We signed Evra, people like Naman, Vidic, you know. Big signings have been done.
Yeah. Look, I think it's pretty obvious, man, that nobody's really happy about that answer from Oli. For me, you know, going on Malota's point or Retz's point, it's just I've always said that I don't think Ole has the backbone. He doesn't, at least not in the way he presents himself. I don't think he has the backbone or the courage to stand up to a board like the one at Manchester United. You know, if people like Van Gaal, Mourinho, and maybe to a certain extent Moyes, but Moyes didn't have enough time, so he's a bit irrelevant. If Van Gaal and Mourinho could not get this board to actually spend the right amount of money on the right players, I doubt Mr. Positive is gonna be able to do it. You know, it's just I don't know where we should be looking as a fan base, and what sort of positives we should try to get out of this, because I think our midfield, like, we need replacements. You know, I feel like personally we need 2 or 3 replacements. You know, we haven't replaced Fellaini, we haven't replaced Herrera, we've just let them go. Lukaku left, no replacement. Yes, you could argue that Martial and Greenwood are doing well at the moment, but Greenwood's very young and he's going to play in patches whether you like it or not, unless he's the next Kylian Mbappe. And Martial's going to get injured. So we need a second choice striker and let Greenwood develop behind Martial.
Also a winger, because Sanchez left on loan.
Yeah, Sanchez has gone on loan. So, like, there's so many. So that's what, like, 4 players without the players we already need. That's 4 players we need to replace. On top of that, we still need a bit more as well, just a bit more reinforcements, because some people in our fan base, I know, feel like we need fullbacks. They feel like what if he gets injured? Left back and right back, you know? What are you guys thinking, man?
To be honest, I don't see how Mandzukic is an Ole signing. Like, this makes no sense anyway. Because, one, he's all about youth, and Mandzukic is like 100 years old. And 2, he wants to play counter-attacking football. How in the world are you going to play counter-attacking football with Mario Mandzukic?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. The guy, I mean, he won't offer us anything. He's got no pace, he's got no hold-up. This guy, he can barely do anything, you know? I think he's done as a footballer.
And he's playing in an attacking position, which is worse, because in an attacking
and in
position,
the Premier League especially, you'll have to, you know, Premier League will take players like Mandzukic and eat him up.
Well, Mandzukic isn't the only one that we have talks about. You know, there's talks about guys like Rakitic and I don't know, man. When you look at the rumor mills, the rumor mills that I think are a bit more realistic, the only player that makes me excited is somebody like an Emre Can, but apparently we're not going to get him either. Because all these other deals like Sancho, Haaland, Madison, I don't think they're going to happen. Not with this board.
And especially not in January. Not in January.
Mm-hmm. It's like we're never getting the right players. We're always looking at the wrong players.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely.
But then it also comes back down for us not having a director of football.
That's true. That's true. That is very true. I suppose that's a topic for another day, but that's so true. I think, look, there's nothing else really that jumped out of this conference. Everything else was a little bit positive. Besides the transfer thing, I think Ollie recognizes that he's got to go on and get consistency. He said it himself. The team has to push this momentum into the next game. And looking ahead to the Everton game now, I think we're in a good position because our best players weren't even playing in the Alkmaar game, and they were able to get a 4-0 result. And that means that that's important for two reasons. One, that's important because I think our bench players, well, at least the youth, not the more experienced guys, but the youth are playing well. Guys like Greenwood, guys like Williams, they're giving themselves a shout to get into the team sheet. And the second reason why that's important is because our main 5 or 6 players were rested, which is great.
Yeah.
Rashford didn't play, James didn't play, Martial only played for an hour, which is quite a lot, but still. Wan-Bissaka didn't play. Lindelof didn't play.
Yeah,
so I think we got a good chance against this game. What are you guys thinking? What are you expecting going into this Everton game?
I think that I'm expecting United to win it, carry on the form. Don't show it to slip up. But the one thing that Ollie did say in the press conference also is that he's not afraid to play Mason Greenwood in the Premier League. He's not afraid to give him time. It's about finding out the balance of minutes he's going to get. And, I think, with the way he played in the Europa League game, I think, on the last episode we were speaking about would we start him, and we were asking who would we drop for him. And I was thinking, and I was also listening to some fan camps, and then the one guy said that maybe play Greenwood up front and then put Martial in the 10 with James on the right and Rashford on the left, because Martial's hold-up play is so good.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm such a huge fan of that. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of our 4 best attacking players playing in one game, because I know a lot of people are going to agree with me on this, but I'm a type of manager who likes to play on rotation and to always have more than one option. So to have 2 of your first choice strikers literally playing in the same game, to me, sounds like a recipe for disaster. And I think you've got to have one attacking player who can come off the bench and make an impact. That's just my opinion. But it could work. The only thing I would say to that is we've never seen Martial play in the 10, and I don't know if Martial has. I don't know if he has it in his locker to play in the 10 because he's.
Personally, I wouldn't do it personally. I would if I'm going to play Greenwood, I'm going to bring him on early in the game so he can actually have an impact, because Ollie in previous times he's never brought on Greenwood early. He's always brought him 85 minutes. What must he do with 5 minutes?
Yeah.
It's a bit paradoxical because he himself did say that a player needs about 20 minutes to make an impact, and then he goes on and puts him on in the last 10.
Exactly. But like I said, in the Europa League game, at least the positive was he made early subs. So hopefully he turned the corner with that.
Yeah. Going on to that though, I mean, I would much rather have Martial playing in 10 than Pereira or something. I know a lot of people would think about that and immediately be revolted by that suggestion, but I think it's not such a bad idea. Martial, he does have, I think he's a good footballer, and he can play out of position for a game or two.
Yeah.
It just depends, man. I don't think Pogba will be back for the Everton game, so that's irrelevant.
No, he won't.
But no. Lingard has come under a lot of stick over the last 8 months. He has shown that he can be useful in the team, in those pockets of space, in the last 2 games at least. I don't know how he's going to do against an Everton that will sit back, but I would rather play Lingard. and then make difficult decisions that front three, man. Drop someone.
Yeah. And especially because Lingard didn't train on Thursday before the Europa League game. But, you know, I think Lingard being Lingard, you know, he, at least with the last good game he had, I would expect him to try to get fit for Everton.
Yeah, definitely.
To be honest, I don't think Lingard will be that consistent, but we'll wait and see. And I think he'll definitely play. Yeah, I'm confident we'll win this game, but you just never know with United. And I saw how they played last week in Duncan Ferguson's first game, and they're a counter-attacking team, so they will sit back and hit us on the break. So I feel like if our start is lackluster, we could find ourselves in a difficult situation.
That's true.
Yeah, that's sort of the general consensus with United at the moment. If we don't start well, we're screwed. If we drop off in the second half, we're screwed. You know.
Yeah, like because Everton sit back. Oli can't this time. Surely he can't sit back against a team that sits back. Otherwise, nothing will happen. He has to go take Everton because you're playing at home. You have to go and take the game to Everton.
Yeah.
You know, we might just find ourselves watching a chess match, to be honest, because
against Everton.
I think against Everton, yes. I know that sounds like that. It doesn't make me feel good saying that, but I'm just trying to be realistic here. We might find ourselves playing a chess match against Everton because I think a lot of people have taken shots at Ole, rightfully so. But in the Europa League game, he did show we saw something different out of the team.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that will be an indicator that this team has the bravado and the confidence to play a more attacking playing style against teams that are a bit shaky. And so if Everton don't take their chances, or if Everton don't, if Everton aren't completely ruthless on the break, I think they could give this one away to United. United have just got to come out, start well, play positive football. Even if it's for the first half an hour to 45 minutes, they've got to get a goal.
Yeah.
If it's 0-0 at halftime, I don't know. Or if Everton take the lead. Mm-hmm.
It's a funny one, hey? Because I feel like the way we play in the second half, I don't know if we can do that without Mata. I don't think Lingard is that type of number 10. And I feel like a number 10 is crucial to play like that. You're going to hold the ball, look for little spaces. Like we've seen over the last year that we struggle with that. We just pass side to side and nothing happens. I feel like that's why the counter-attacking is also so appealing to Oli. So it's going to be quite interesting how the midfield handles this game, like as a test for them.
Yeah, of course. I mean, of course. Lingard is not going to give you what Mata gives you in terms of the football IQ. But the thing about Lingard and what people don't realize is there's more to being a number 10 than just being good on the ball. Obviously, being good on the ball is the most important thing because it is football. But if Everton do decide at some point to get a little bit confident and start playing ball, it will give Lingard an opportunity to just disrupt the defense and run into those pockets of space. And then we're going to have to rely on someone like Fred or McTominay to do the work while Lingard is just disrupting the defense and making the runs. Hopefully, it plays out that way, and someone like Rashford and James has the freedom to do what they want, whilst Lingard is, pulling the fullbacks away or whatever. But we'll just have to see, man. Because the thing is, football's a funny game. A team that usually would sit back might fancy the game against United where United don't look like they're up to it in the first half. I think this was out.
Yeah. Plus they got a new manager.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I really hope they do that, because if they do, we're going to smash them.
Yeah, you know what? If they try to attack us and then all these plan is they sit back, hold up, and then counter, I think then they'll get smashed.
Honestly, I hope we just play the way we played against AZ Alkmaar in the second half and win fair and square anyways. But, if we win, we win. It's whatever.
Yeah, win is a win. I'll take a dub here and see.
I do want to ask you guys something. We're 5 points away from Chelsea. We've got 3 wins in 3 games now. Do you feel like top 4 is possible? And maybe not. Don't focus too much on the end of the season. I just mean over the next few months or weeks. Do you think top 4 is possible?
Well, on paper, Chelsea dropping points, United on form picking up points, so it does look likely. But I think it still depends on what happens in January for our signings and whether or not Chelsea continue to slip up and whether Oli can be consistent.
Mm-hmm. Rita, what
Yeah,
do you think?
I agree 100%. I agree 100%. I feel like it's just down to the signings. Like, I don't think in any shape or form that this midfield can make top 4. I don't. Yeah.
Old.
So if we don't sign, I don't see us making top 4.
In an ideal world, would you guys rather win the Euro League or make top 4?
Yeah, top 4 any day.
I mean, I'll win Europa League because that's a trophy, and then we get UEFA Champions League qualifications anyway. So
I would rather win the Europa as well because it's a trophy,
trophy, and we get qualification then as well.
Exactly.
I get that, I get that, but like,
it's a continental tournament.
Like, maybe it's a personal thing. I don't feel the Europa League. I feel like we don't belong there.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like in terms of our growth and stature, finishing in the top 4 says way more than winning the Europa League.
Yeah, that's a lot because it is quite personal. Like when you ask people, like, what would you rather win if you were a manager or a player, the Premier League or Champions League? I'll 100% all day, every day take the Champions League.
Yeah, well, okay, the Champions League and Premier League is a completely different argument because those are 2 trophies. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'd rather win, come first place than come fourth. That's just me. Coming fourth doesn't really mean anything to me. Doesn't matter what trophy it is. It's still.
Plus,
fourth.
I think if we did finish fourth, we'll have to do playoffs, Champions League playoffs or something.
No, that's gone. It's not the rule.
That's gone now. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. I guess now we move on to the predicted starting XI. Now that we've covered that portion, we'll start with the goalkeepers. I think this one's pretty obvious. I think De Gea is going to play it. But
yeah.
De Gea.
Yeah, definitely there. There's no question around that one.
Wan-Bissaka, we're going with Wan-Bissaka on the right back.
Yep, definitely Wan-Bissaka.
Fix himself.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Centre half pair.
Centre half pair, Maguire, Lindelof.
I think Maguire, Lindelof as well.
Yeah, I feel like most of this team picks itself really, which is a good thing because for a long time we didn't have that. We were always like, would you play? So it's growth in terms of that.
Yeah, at least you're starting to see what's our best starting level now.
Yeah.
Left back. Now, I want you to answer who do you think will start, not who you want to start.
I think Luke Shaw will start. And if I want it, and who I want to start, I'll probably also start Luke Shaw.
Oh, okay. Luke Shaw. Okay. Rita, you going with Luke Shaw as well?
Yeah, I think he'll start. But in terms of want, I'd like it to be Brandon Williams because I feel like he gives us more of a threat going forward. But I think, Luke Shaw didn't play during the week. He didn't, right?
No, he didn't.
Yeah, so he didn't play. He's fit. He's fresh. I think it's a no-brainer.
He came on in the 85th minute against Spurs. Was it 80th?
And he played a bit against Man City, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Or, like they're giving him a little 20 minutes at the end of the game to get back into shape. Anyways.
Yeah, that's you just keep fit. This guy, again, another one of those players just gets injured, and then when he comes back, he just doesn't look fit at all. He doesn't look hungry. It takes time to build up again. That's why I think we need a new left back. Someone who will complement Williams.
Listen, I feel like if you're a club like Manchester United and you want to talk about stature, you have to be ruthless. And if a player is not there for half the season, you might as well not have him. But anyways, topic for another day. The centre the midfielders, the 2 pairing, the holding midfielders, we know Ollie's going to play that. I think it's going to be Fred McTominay.
Really. Yeah, definitely. Scott, McTerminator, McSauce, and Fred the Red.
And in the cam position, probably Lingard. I'm going to go with Lingard.
Yeah, definitely Lingard.
I think Lingard will definitely be fit. But if Lingard's not fit, I think he's going to play Pereira.
Possibly. He did say that he doesn't know what's going on with Lingard. He just said he hopes that he comes back.
Yeah. I think he will get back fit, knowing Lingard. But if Lingard doesn't get back, I think Pereira will play.
Pereira. The front 3 pairing. The front 3 pairing is an interesting one because Greenwood did play well. And
Yeah.
I don't see Ole benching Martial because I feel like they have a special relationship. They've got some other.
Well, on the left, I think without a doubt, Rashford's going to start on the left.
Yeah, picks himself.
Yeah, Rashford picks himself.
The other two, do you see James benching?
Nah, you know what? I think he's going to keep it the same. I think Martial will be centre forward, and then James will be on the wing. And then I'm hoping that, okay, unless James has like an amazing game, I'm hoping that Oli will bring on Greenwood in the second half early on, so enough for him to make impact. Because, to be honest, Greenwood definitely deserves a reward for his efforts.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Brett, you agree with that?
I feel like he's made it clear that Rashford, Martial, and Dan James are his starting front three. So I think it'll be that.
Yeah, that's pretty. It's pretty basic. This team does kind of pick itself in some areas.
Yeah.
And then I will be paying special attention because Ollie's words were, he's not afraid to give Greenwood time in the Premier League or balance time. It's just about men. So I want to see it. I want to see him put his money where his mouth is.
To be honest, I don't think he will. I feel like he's gonna give the excuse that he played midweek. He's young, so he's gonna give him 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's the sad thing. Like, but he always he has these minor contradictions. Yeah, I know Greenwood is ready. The youth is ready. Definitely, and then he doesn't play them. Then he gives this excuse. He gives that excuse.
Look, I think Mark Goldbridge said it perfectly. Ollie's English, even though he's been in England for a while, his English isn't perfect, so you can't take everything he says literally. I think his word choice needs to be improved because I do think he does believe in Greenwood, but he, in his mind, he knows this context and he knows that things take time and he doesn't clear that up when he says these things. He makes it sound like starting from next week, Greenwood is going to be playing when that's not what he actually means. I hope.
Yeah.
You never know with Ollie. But yeah,
and,
man.
To add, and Matic will probably be on the bench. Yay!
Oh my god! This guy shouldn't make the reserves bench.
Do you guys want to talk about what the bench is going to look like? I don't think that's a very important thing to touch on because of how short-staffed our squad is and how easy it is to predict. Generally, what the squad's going to look like, but Matic might be on the bench.
Williams, because, Young will be on the bench. Young, Williams.
I think all his team is thin, so he needs players, and he seems to think that Matic offers a sense of experience. So yeah.
How much do you guys want to bet? There's going to be 2 fullbacks on the bench.
There's going to be 2?
2 what? 2 fullbacks on the bench.
Yeah, so no, I think Williams and Young will be on the bench, 100%. Young and Williams will be on the bench. Greenwood will be on the bench if he doesn't start.
Imagine having a goalkeeper and 2 fullbacks on the bench. That's 3 spots wasted.
Yeah, sign of the times.
Yep, sign of the times.
Oh yeah, wait. So it's 2 left backs, a centre back, and a goalkeeper. That's 4 spots wasted. So you only have 3 attacking options. That's sad.
And they won't even be that mad. It'll just be Greenwood because the rest are just, they're like, yeah, that's it. Nothing much to say about them.
So you Matic and Mata as well, the other 2. Score predictions. Well, what are you guys going with?
I think Everton, because they got a new manager, Duncan Ferguson, and he's a rough guy. They're definitely going to play for him. I think, new manager bounce back. Our form, I think it's going to be a bit scrappy. I think United are going to win, but I think it's not going to be as smooth sailing as many people think. I'm going to say 2-1 to United.
2-1 to United. That sounds very safe.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna give all of the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, I'm gonna look at the bright side and keep positive. I think we'll be comfortable, and I'm gonna say a 3-1 win.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. I think I'm also going to go with the 2-1 win because Everton do have the new manager, and with this United team and how frail they are in the Premier League, it's hard to trust them. I think one thing I will say is that if United don't get off on the front foot and don't get the first goal, or at least an early goal, it's late.
I think if United don't get the first goal, I think heads are gonna drop, and then let's see how good they are if they can pick themselves up and go and try to get a result after it. But if United get the first goal, I think it will be
Okay.
relatively fine.
Yeah, I do want to say this.
Yeah.
You can go first, Rita. You can go first.
Nah, I think they'll be. I think they'll be buzzing. I mean, like, we beat best team in England. We beat Tottenham. Beat Mourinho. So, and I think that'll play in our favor. Like, I feel like yes, Everton do have the new manager bounce, but they're still very fragile. I mean, like, it's been very dark under Silva, and I feel like we'll probably see some of the frailties we saw in the Silva in this game.
Definitely, I think. Sorry about that. I think United can definitely, nick this if they play their cards right. But the problem is, it is United, and I haven't been fully sold on us against small teams because AZ Alkmaar was just. I don't want to call it an anomaly, per se, because they are a decent side, but that's EuroLeague and it's a different tempo. That brings me on to a point I was going to make actually before you brought that up. I was going to say, and I want to know what you guys' thoughts on this. I was going to say that I think the reason why we were able to up our tempo and we didn't drop off in the second half against AZ Alkmaar was because we didn't really have much to do in the first half. Our attacking players didn't really do that much running. And I'm worried about the shift in tempo or the contrast in tempo. Because when we play against Everton, because it's in the Premier League, there's going to be a lot of running. And I'm scared of our second half performance against Everton. Like, if we don't get a goal in the first half, I'm scared.
Yeah.
And
that's why I like James, because at least I know if the game is slow and everything's slow, if that ball goes to Dan James, that run is going to be made and that ball will go into that box.
That's true. Or Rashford's just going to nick us a penalty again, as usual.
Yeah, Rash, Rashford on form, man, in form. Come on, boy, you're in my fantasy league. Get me some points there.
Yeah, I think Rashford's going to be another key player in this game because this is a slightly big game. I think if we win this Everton game, then some of the pressure gets completely alleviated.
Yeah.
Because there will be 3 league wins in 3 and 4 games on the bounce, I suppose.
Yeah. Plus, I don't know how you guys feel. Like, I know despite Everton's form recently and this season, but like I still think Everton, is top 8 side, top 6 maybe, arguably. And I feel like there's something bogey about Everton. This is like Everton's just like that bogey team for me.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think if it's funny because somebody brought that up with Ole and he stuttered a bit. He was like, it's a different group, and then the journalist corrected him and was like, actually, it's most of the same players. And he was like, yeah, but the mentality is different. And he stuttered for a bit, and I was like, oh, better be careful how you answer these questions.
Be careful.
No, but I think he's right. I feel like as much as we do have frailties, I feel like this team will never get turned over 4-0 by Everton again.
Listen, Poppy, I hope you're right. But, with this United team, you never know. You just never know.
If they really love Oli, they will show it. They will definitely play and they'll make sure that no funny business happens with Everton.
Like the midfield we played against Everton last year when we got beat 4-0 was horrendous. McTominay was not what he is now. Mattis was just horrible. And then Mata was also horrible. So I wasn't surprised. And Everton was buzzing at that time.
Yeah.
So I feel like in terms of mentality, I feel like the group has grown a lot. So I can see us losing, but I don't see a 4-0.
Yeah,
I agree. It's going to be an interesting one. I think that pretty much wraps it up, actually.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Anything else
lingering? Nah, let's just go. Let's keep the positivity running. Let's go on Sunday, take the game to Everton, get another win under our belt, and let's keep on building till January, and we'll take it from there.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
I do have one question. I've got to preface it by saying this. We know that Ole has had probably one of the worst starts to the season since 1989. But if he does go on and lose to Everton, where do you guys stand? Not in terms of Ole in, Ole out, but like how mad would you be? Is basically what I'm saying.
I think it depends on the manner in which we lost or something. Like if we played like attacking football, positive football, and then like a VAR decision goes their way or something, then at least I can see. Show me that you're building something. Show me that you've learned.
Fair. That's fair. I can get behind that.
But
I've always been about the football coming first, but like we're 5 points from top 4. Like we need to capitalize on this, because if we don't need Chelsea starting to run away from us again. So to be honest, I wouldn't be happy. Like I'll right back on the Ole out train, and yeah, he just needs to win this game. I feel like if he loses this game, it's going to be a tough December. It's going to be a tough December.
Flip-flop much. I'm joking. Yeah, I agree, man.
I'm not Ole in. I'm not Ole in, but I'm more Ole out than Ole in.
That makes sense. So on a scale of 1 to 10, if 10 is Ole out and 1 is Ole in, you're like a 6, 7.
Yeah, 7.
Maybe 8. Oh, yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Anyways, do make sure to leave a like on the video. Don't be shy to comment. Give your thoughts, give your opinions on anything. You are allowed to disagree. This is an opinion. And thanks for listening if you did make it this far. That pretty much wraps it up. Thank you for listening. Peace.